Hello, my name is Kyle, and today we're going to go over the installation of a GT115 storeroom lock set. Alright, we'll start off by unboxing the hardware. First thing you'll see is a template to show how the door should be prepped, installation instructions, a screw pack, you have your latch, you have your door strike, and your lock set. Once your door is prepped and you're ready to start installing hardware, we're going to start with the latch. The latch will be installed into the door with the 8x32 combo screws in our screw pack here. It's important to remember that the bevel of the latch should face the strike in the door frame. Alright, we'll go ahead and start installing the latch. It's important to know, again, make sure the bevel is facing the strike in the door frame. We're going to use a handheld to install these screws. Using a impact or drill gun could sometimes strip out your threaded holes or where the prep is. It's also important to remember that when we tighten this latch down, we're going to go about 80% because we want to leave a little bit of wiggle room while we're installing the chassis. Once we're done, we'll come back and finish tightening the screws. Now we're going to get ready to install the chassis. We can take our outside lever and rose assembly, outside mounting plate, inside lever and rose assembly, and take all of that off so we just have the chassis and the inside mounting plate. The inside mounting plate is threaded and is preset for 1 3/4 thick doors. Now we're going to install the chassis into the door. We're going to come from the inside. It's important to note the engagement of the latch and the retractor of the chassis, and we'll show a picture of what that looks like. Chassis in the door. We'll go ahead and install our outside mounting plate. It is keyed, so there is only one way to put it on. Once we have the mounting plate on, we'll go ahead and put the trim in place. To access the through bolt locations, you will have to remove the lever and the inside rose. That can be done by using the supplied Allen screw, or if you're going to be doing a lot of these, I suggest you get a T-handle. Alright, with my T-handle here, I'm going to start loosening up the set screw on the inside of the lever. Once it is far enough to remove the lever, I tighten the screw back up another turn or two just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. With the lever off, we can now pull our rose scalp off, and here's our rose assembly. We'll go ahead and put our inside rose assembly on. The rose assembly will only fit on the chassis one direction, but just so you know, the large square piece off the back side of the lever spindle will face away from your latch. Once that is into place, we'll use our through bolt screws to start attaching it. Again, we're going to use a handheld. Try to stay away from drill guns or impact guns. We're going to get hand tight here. You do not need to over tighten or over torque these screws, just get it nice and snug. Now that we're done tightening those screws, we'll put our rose back into place, and then we can install our lever. I will start to loosen the screw as I'm pushing on the lever. When it sits into place, I will go then back into the tightening direction and lock that screw into place. The set screw for the lever should be below flush, so if you can feel that set screw, then there's still some tightening that needs to be done. Now that we have the inside and outside rose assemblies attached, all the levers are on, we'll go ahead and tighten the screws for our latch. We're going to go over how to test the functionality of the lock set. A storeroom function lock, this GT115. The inside lever should always retract the latch. Outside lever should be rigid with the ability to retract the latch from the outside when using a key. Now you will notice these locks were sent with a temporary plastic core. This will be removed when installing your permanent core. But on the back side of this plastic temporary core will be a spring and tailpiece, so it's important to keep that when you're installing your core. I will take my tailpiece and spring. The spring is needed if you're using a 6-pin core. If you are using a 7-pin core, the spring can be discarded. In the back side of the core, you will put the fork into the back of the core, so it looks like so. We're going to use our control key, which is the key that allows the kickstand to come out and be retracted or extended. With the kickstand retracted, we'll go ahead and install that into the lever. With the core in, we'll do our turn to extend the kickstand, remove the control key, and then we'll go on to continue testing it with the change keys. And that concludes the installation of our GT115 storeroom grade 1 lock set.